Hello, everybody, and welcome to the deck of the weekend. I'm finally back home. It's good. It feels good to be back home doing what I like, which is, my job of bringing you all the updated Magic content of competitive Magic. I traveled a lot this weeks. I've been to New York first and then to Barcelona second. The first was just a holiday for me. I turned 30 and I spent the time there with my girlfriend, and then I went to Barcelona to play the Legacy European Tour, which was a 700 people modern event, and the triumphant was Rack the Scam. Yeah, there's no mistaking that. Reckless Cam just got Fury banned and decided to, not decided, sorry, and triumphed regardless of that. A lot of takeaway from this. The first one was that Marilu Garcia got the job done with this deck, basically cutting Furies and adding a bunch of one-offs. What she did was basically something that nobody else did. I think only 4 people registered Rakdos Scam. Only she made to the day 2, and then starting with 2-2, finishing the weekend with a 15-2. That's amazing. Yeah, so I think that my theory, as I tweeted a bunch of days ago, was that they removed Fury, but despite of that, Scam still remains a good deck. What a lot of people did last weekend was to just quit Scam and play Rhinos or Living End, which were everywhere. Those decks are extremely good, and they did very, very well. 8 of the top 16 decks were those archetypes. Definitely check it out on MTG Melee. This is the uh, MTG Melee. It's quite easy to browse. I like this website to find tournaments. You go to Decklist database modern, and then you scroll through the event, and here it is, 700 people, and there's 3 Living End and Timo Rainas in the top 8. There's also another Living End with the same score in 9th place. My friend Andrea Piemonti played Blue Red Murktide, made it to the top 8. I also played a Blue Red Murktide. We worked together on the list. I am writing an article on Channel Fireball to update this list. I think the Murktide is okay in the metagame. It's decent against the Cascade decks, which are very popular, but still, probably Scam is still the better fair deck of the two. There's a lot of questions whether Scam is fair or unfair, but it's definitely the fairest of these decks outside of Living End. Every other deck is just a combo deck. You have Amulet Titan, you have the Cascade decks, you have Yawgmoth, which is a very strong deck, super popular as well. But yeah, you can see Team Uranus is everywhere, and you know, it's definitely the name of the format right now. If you want to be playing Modern, definitely be prepared for those decks. But yeah, Scam is now, I think, one of the good guys, as much as I can say. And seeing Marilu win was definitely for me a sigh of relief over the Cascade decks. I think that. This deck is now still, you have that powerful opening with Grief and not Dread after all, but you have less of those, only 5 with 4+1 Malaki Rebirth, and just a fair deck after that. You have Dothy, you have Bowmaster, Fable, the classic deck that you've seen. I think this deck is good. I think that you should play it if you are thinking about quitting it for something else. I think you don't have to sell your Reckless Scam because it died. I think it definitely did not die, and it's probably going to be top 5 decks in Modern regardless. And yeah, it's going to be cool to see how the metagame evolves. Of course, now there's the not too many big events. I have the nomination event in Pisa at the beginning of January, which I'm gonna be competing in there, and then I have, of course, the regional championship starts. We have the European one at the end of January, so it's gonna be for me still. I'll be doing a lot of modern content. I enjoy this format a lot, and yeah, Up the Beanstalk and Fury got banned. Unfortunately, 4-color didn't follow the Scam thing. Some people tried on playing 4-color, but I don't think you can see any 4-color doing well. Oh wow, there's a 4-color with Sahili Rai. Wow, actually, I'll probably play this deck for one of my videos. That's very cool. Yeah, some Tron decks as well, of course, but yeah, that's gonna be it for Modern. Let's go to Pioneer. That is the format that this weekend there's gonna be the American RC, and they got revolutionized by this very powerful combo deck. So Wizards just banned one of the new combo decks in Geological Upraiser, but left behind the Amalia combo, which is now everywhere. It won the showcase. yesterday as I was traveling, I was watching my friend playing a Pioneer League, and he played against five Amalia in the league. So I think I've talked about this combo already, but I guess I can remind you if you're not following Pioneer too often. And again, make sure to listen to the podcast that we're gonna record. Actually, I'm gonna record the podcast after finishing this video. So probably, actually, the podcast will be out tonight. So if you're watching this video today, the Tuesday, you'll have the podcast later on. Competitive Magic with the Carnies. But yeah, Malia, Benavides, Sakir, combos with Wild Growth Walker and any life gainer. So if you go Lunark Veteran, Amalia, Wild Growth Walker, you just attack for 20. Yeah, I mean, this deck is redundant with Collected Company, Court of Calling, and even this new technology, Return to the Ranks, which lets you basically play around the removal spell decks by bringing those back. So, definitely a powerful card for this deck. The same thing does Extraction Specialist, so you have a lot of redundancy there. And then you have Dina, which can let you win the game at the same turn without attacking with Amalia. You have Jirina, which is a way to protect your creature for 2 mana, as well as the Selfless Savior. Synod Scout is a way to trigger the Wild Growth Walker to stand the chain, but you can also gain life with Prosperous Innkeeper and with Gilded Goose. So this is how the combo works, and again, it's going to be a very, very strong deck, so definitely expect that deck a lot in Pioneer. Although this weekend, it's when the Americans will do the RC. It's going to be the last RC of the cycle. So it will show a lot of what can happen in Pioneer. Let's go to Legacy. This weekend, there was also the Eternal Weekend in America. In Pittsburgh was 995 people in Legacy and 381 in Vintage. That's insane. That's so many people. And the winner of that event was, well, unfortunately, I can't show it to you on Magic Online because it doesn't exist. There's a card called the Triumph of Scan Catherine that does not exist on Magic Online, but it won the Legacy tournament. So this is not a great thing for Magic. The fact that Magic Online does not mimic paper, although it is what it is, and the Warhammer cards cannot be on Magic Online for some reason. I don't know how they will fix that, but congratulations to TK Strachan, who won the whole thing with a decklist that was played, I believe, like a couple of weeks ago by Brian Koval. And yeah, so what this card does, we've talked about it on the podcast as well. It's like it's a 5-mana 5/5 lifelink, which is like a Baneslayer Angel, but you can miracle it for 2 mana. So if you go like turn 2 Ponder, on turn 3 you can cast this thing for free. Is that good? I don't know, but that does trigger up the Beanstalk, and so yeah, this is, again, to win this event, it was 11 rounds of Swiss divided in 2 days, so it was 9 rounds of Swiss, and then 2 more rounds of Swiss and top 8 on the next day, and you have this deck that won the whole thing in final against Grixis Delver. Very sweet top 8, I believe 8 different decks, which is definitely, I mean, every format in Magic right now, I think it's pretty good, and Legacy is no exception. You have Beanstalk Control that finished 13-1 in the whole day. Then you have, I think, 2 Painters. This was the only deck with 2 copies of. And then you have Sapphire Breakfast, Black Green, Critical Control, the Epic Storm, and then you have 4-color Aggro. I guess there's like 2 Delver strategy. 4-color Aggro, it's labeled here. You have Questing Druid and Orcish Bowmaster in a like blue-red shell, I would say. Grixis Delver is very similar to that. But yeah, if you continue, there's still like all the different archetype. I guess the only archetype that doesn't show up here is the control decks. But I guess it did win the whole thing, but it's slightly different. Like there's no Uropile, I guess, in the top 25, which is a deck that very popular, and it does very well against Timur Delver. A friend of mine, Danny Ground, won the Legacy Challenge by playing against a 6 Timur Delver, and he got the 6-0 there. So again, Legacy is very open. You can play a deck to beat another deck, but then if you play Uro, you beat Delver, but you lose to combo, and so on and so forth. So this is the Legacy metagame that goes on. Of course, Legacy rewards a lot of knowledge to your deck. So yeah, look forward to play this deck again. I'll play in the Damnation at the beginning of next year. And that's it for me. Thank you so much for listening to this Deck of the Weekend. Of course, if you like this series, let me know in the comment. Subscribe. check out the podcast later today, and I'll see you every day with a new video. I was able to keep up the one video a day throughout my my not stay at home. I really enjoy being a YouTuber because you can schedule that thing. In few days I'll be marking my 2 years of one video in a row. So again, thank you for sticking to that, and have a great day.